Question is, can you help us understand a multi-dimensional universe? What would be the dimensions we are unaware of?
Any dimension higher than the 3 that we're familiar with, or the actual 4 that we're embedded in. We live in a 4-dimensional world. And that might sound a little flaky or freaky, but consider the following fact. You have never met someone at a place unless it was also at a time. And you have never met someone at a time unless it was also at a place. That requires 4 dimensions of coordinates.
Wait. What about in a dream?
Is the dream happening inside your head?
Yes. I don't know when.
So the only point is, we know intuitively that we need 4 dimensions to localize someone to meet up with them. Especially when, well, only 2 dimensions if you don't have tall buildings. You have tall buildings, you need the 3rd dimension. So you don't say, I'll meet you at the 20th floor of, on 721 Park Avenue. What time? Okay? There's a full 4 dimensions going on there. So just I want to convince you we live in a 4-dimensional world for that reason. Okay. It may be that these 4 dimensions are manifest to us, but that in fact we are embedded in a higher dimensional space. And string theorists on the frontier of this exercise are hypothesizing at least 10 dimensions to account for everything we see in the universe, even if we do not directly measure those dimensions themselves. Now, with your permission, may I go on a dimensional journey with you? May I? Might take you on a journey?
A dimensional odyssey.
Odyssey. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready? Just get ready for this. Okay. So, I'm at my desk, and the desk is a surface, okay? And I start putting pages down on the desk. I'm tiling them on the desk. And then I run out of room. I have exhausted the 2 dimensions of the surface of my desk. We have ways of accommodating this problem. And so we have page organizers that go upwards. So now when I don't have any more surface area of the desk, I can enter a 3rd dimension and put pages there. If you are an ant embedded in this 2-dimensional world of the surface of my desk, and you fill up the desk with these sheets of paper, the ant will say, there is no more room. And I say, yes, there is, watch me. And I take a piece of paper off the desk, put it in the page organizer, and according to the ant that's embedded in the 2 dimensions, that page disappeared. It disappeared into a dimension that ant does not have access to. What a brilliant invention this is. You can put practically an unlimited number of pages, far more pages above the desk than on the desk. So access to a 3rd dimension is an extraordinarily useful storage device for a 2-dimensional creature.
Does the ant trust you that what it cannot see is nevertheless there?
You have to then talk to it about this extra dimension. And then it will have to just trust you.
Yes.
Because watch what happens next. I now have my 3-dimensional room, and I'm filling it with boxes. Now I've run out of space to put the boxes. But now a 4-dimensional alien looks at us and says, I got this. Just move it into the 4th dimension. What are you talking about? And the alien comes in, reaches in, takes one of the boxes, and then the box disappears. Disappears. It went into a 4th dimension. And this was captured in the film Monsters, Inc. Did you guys see this film? These are monsters that work in a door factory, and they make these doors, and they open the door, and it is the door of a kid's bedroom or their closet. And they step through, and they're in the kid's closet. And then they scare the kid, because that's their job. They're monsters, okay? This doorway is a portal through the fourth dimension and then back to the third. So imagine a new storage system. We just go to Home Depot and buy a door. And that door is your portal to a fourth dimension. You open the door, put your boxes, close the door, you look on the other side of the door, there's nothing there. So this is what's going on when you have access to higher dimensions.
Wait. Don't you have to then talk to somebody? Because as far as you know, if you're a scientist and you need data, what you have is something that you had, it's gone, and now a voice says, I've got this.
Yeah, if
that data?
If it's a voice from the fourth dimension, I'm going to listen to it.
So does every dimension
I'm not going to say,
come
no,
with a
you're lying.
narrator?
If there's a voice coming out of the fourth dimension and makes one of my boxes disappear, I'm thinking it's got more power than I do and more knowledge of the space-time continuum. So I'm going with it. Let me ask you. Suppose you have a sphere, and I live in a two-dimensional world, and you take this hollow sphere, so it's a shell, and you pass that sphere through my two-dimensional universe. How will I describe that? I will say, this point just appeared out of nowhere. Oops, now it's a circle, a small circle. And that circle's getting bigger by the moment. Oh my gosh, oh, it reached a maximum size. Now that circle's just shrinking. It's shrinking. Up, now it's a point. Now the whole thing disappeared. This would be completely freaky to a two-dimensional being. But it makes complete sense if you live in 3 dimensions and you pass a sphere through my universe. Now I want to totally blow their minds, if I can, if I may. But you got to stay with me on this, okay? We're all Upper East Siders, so you got this. You ready? Okay.
These are not all Upper East Side. There are suspiciously un-Upper East Side people littering the room.
Okay. But you got to stay with me, okay? A point has no dimensions. There's no height, width, depth, so it has 0 dimensions. A line has 1 dimension, length, okay? A square has 2 dimensions, sort of height and width. A cube has 3 dimensions, height, width, depth. We got this. Now follow me. A line is 1-dimensional, but it's bounded by 2 0-dimensional things. Those are the points. 1 dimension bounded by 2 0-dimensional points. A square is 2 dimensions bounded by 4 1-dimensional sides. A cube is 3 dimensions bounded by 6 2-dimensional sides. So in other words, the dimensions of your sides are going up. Your line is bound by 0-dimensional points. Your square is bound by 2-dimensional lines. I mean, by 1-dimensional sides. The cube is bound by 2-dimensional squares. Okay? So we're going up 2, 4, 6. 2 points, 4 sides of a square, 6 sides of a cube. And each side is 1 dimension less. They're squares on the sides of a cube. They're lines on the side of a square. They're dots on the sides of a line. Let's go up to a 4-dimensional cube. A 4-dimensional cube has 8 sides. A regular cube had 6 sides. We're going up by 2. A 4-dimensional cube has 8 sides. And each of those sides is a 3-dimensional cube. one dimension down from itself. In the same way, each side of a three-dimensional cube is a two-dimensional square. So when you get to 4 dimensions, the sides are three-dimensional surfaces. And you can take this all the way up. And our brains can't picture what we call a hypercube, in some circles a tesseract. We can't picture a volume bounded by three-dimensional cubes. What does it even mean? This is because we evolved in the plains of Africa, just not wanting to get eaten by a lion. Our neurosynapses are ill-equipped to do the distance on this. And this is why we invent mathematics that can take us there.
Well, the mathematics can help us imagine it, but if we want to credit it with reality, then you have to design an experiment that somehow touches your own world.
Yes, yes. So you can invent something that you can't see if it has testable consequences in ways that you can see. That's perfectly allowed. Not a problem.